Okay, got everything sent out. Got my Twitch page muted, and it looks like everything's good. So, hello everyone, this is Chris Ingerson, and it is September 2nd, and this is the September 2nd TextQuest Devstream. So, today is Saturday, which means that we are going to be doing custom content creation stuff. Specifically, we're going to start working on interactions, so actually interacting with objects, picking up items, things like that. Um, I'm not sure how far we're going to get with that today, but it's kind of the next big thing that we need to do. Um, so the last thing we actually did was variable support, so declaring custom variables for your game. But we can't. I mean, there are ways for us to test that without interactions, but it's kind of largely tied to interactions. Um, so we're gonna focus on getting interactions working today. Although we're gonna start off with something a little bit easy, like we normally like to do when we're starting out, which is we're gonna clean up our custom room interface a little bit. And I'm also going to we're gonna mute this, and I was wondering why my avatar was not moving. So okay. Um, so I've sort of rearranged the layout for this menu already. You can see that we have tabs at the top now. And these tabs are going to basically allow you to sort of swap between various settings for the room. So the info tab will show this information, the base room description, the exits that it has, whether it is a start room or an exit room, allow you to change its background image, basic information about the room itself. The audio tab, obviously this isn't working because I'm not playing. The audio tab will allow you to set up background audio, as well as a couple of other things. I'm still working on that. It's basically going to be the same menu that we created already for background audio, but we'll expand on that when we actually get live audio parsing to work. And then logic is it's a tab that does not exist yet. That is what we started talking about last Saturday, where now that we have variables and sort of these stepping stones to actual game logic, one of the things that would be nice is a simple, I'm going to say simple off the bat, um, node-based editor that would let you do things like on-room enter or on-room exit or on interaction with this object. So it'd be nice to be able to do that. We're not gonna focus on that today because getting a lot of that logic is dependent on interactions with objects. So we can't really. I mean, we could start to set it up, but it'd be kind of pointless because we would basically get as far as on-room exit and on-room enter. So I would like to be able to do that all in one fell swoop, if possible. So we're gonna finish refining this a little bit real quick, and then we will switch over to actual object interactions. Let's go to custom game map room. Okay, I think everything's basically set up, although I am going to go ahead and open this up. I'm going to close some of the unneeded scripts here. Level manager, session or container, or any of the torch stuff. All right, so custom room view. I'm just going to rearrange some of this stuff to make it all fit together a little bit better. Let's see, audio button and room logic button will go next to each other. And they will also be the top buttons since they are now the top. And while I'm here, let me go ahead and add so not audio button, but just, I guess, info button. That should be fine. I suppose I should probably have some sort of tooltipping for these, just so I don't forget what they are. So tooltip. Input field, except I can't spell field apparently, for the room's name. Tooltip. I'm just going to go ahead and copy that. That way I can just paste it in super quick. Input field for the room's description. Let's see. Exit area. Scroll rect for displayed exit nodes, actual rect transform that exit nodes will be parented to. background image is, well, the image used for this room's background, or background, I guess. Let's see, info button, what do I want to call it? Button to show the room's basic info. Button to show the room's audio settings. Button to show the room's logic. Oops, dang it, I knew I'd forget to do that. Let's see, change background button. Button to change the room's background image. Button to add a new exit node, not note, node. Button to close the menu. Delete button. All right. Button to delete this room. And a couple more things, and we'll be done with this. Let's see. Toggle to set this room as the starting room for the game. Toggle to set this room as an exit or end room for the game. And at that point, everything else is fine. Although I probably should do this. Let's see. Message to show on the delete room modal title bar. And do this. Message to show on the delete room modal. Okay. I think we are good there. And real quick, we're going to just script some empty logic for our info button, because we have basic logic for our audio and room logic buttons, but we need to add one for the info button. That way when you click on it, it'll actually swap back to the basic info. Okay, I'm actually kind of curious. Custom room. This probably has a close button, but I don't think we need that anymore. Yeah, we have confirm and cancel buttons, but I don't think we really need those, so we might end up breaking those out, but probably won't do that today. Just because I would like to semi-quickly move on to actual interactions. Alright, awake. Let's go to audio button. I'm going to move these guys up to the top, because again, they are meant to be isolated. Room logic button. Okay, go to definition. On audio clicked, on room logic clicked. Gonna move these guys to be closer as well, just so that I actually have everything set. Okay, on audio clicked, private, void, on info clicked, I guess would be the best choice here. So, okay, so next we're just going to come down to the very bottom here. I'm going to copy this, paste it here, and we're just going to say info button, add listener, on info clicked. Alright, so that's all the scripting I particularly care to do, just for this room dialogue. We'll probably, well, I guess I won't really care if it works because it's only half set up. So, yeah, pretty quickly after this, I think we'll move on to object interactions. So, let's see. Let's go ahead and make sure that everything's assigned first. Sections, room info button, got our tooltips. Okay, do we need anything else? No, I think that's good. So, let's go ahead and apply these changes. Alright, now we're going to delete that. We're going to save. And do I want to have a... I'm going to need a UI for this, aren't I? Wow, this is going to be interesting. Actually, you know what? We might need that room back. Um, Seriously, you didn't change your freaking. Okay, fine, whatever. Or maybe it didn't save. That's really weird. I named it something different and it didn't keep it. Okay, so I'm gonna call this custom game map room. There. I'm gonna drag this back actually because one of the things that we do need we do need a fourth tab here, which is going to be objects. So, or interactions, I suppose. Um, so let's go ahead and say room panel sections, info, audio, logic. I guess it would go between audio and logic. So let's come up here. We're going to put it here. We're going to call this interactions. Oh, probably button. Button would be good. Let's single it out. All right. Now let's change our label here to interactions. I probably should have some sort of tooltip for these two. Seems like that would be a good idea. I'm not sure if I want tabs though. I mean, they're behaving like tabs, but I don't think I need spaces between them. Okay, so we're gonna actually add that then. So on exit delete, on exit add, room logic, here we are. Private void on interactions clicked. Okay, so I guess we are going to be doing a little bit more time in this menu. Mostly because I need a way of showing all of the objects in a given room, as well as all of the items. Well, yeah, I got to think about how we want to present that. Typically, what I would think to do is have a list of all of the objects and then a list of all of the items. But we could combine those all into one thing and then use like icons to identify what they are. That might be better actually. And then we could have some sort of sorting method similar to our variables where we can sort by name or by type, I guess. So let's go ahead and let's see, background image info button. Okay, so we're gonna say copy this, paste it here, and we're gonna call this interactions button. Interactions button. Button to show the room's object and item interactions. All right. Let's see here. Room logic button. Scroll all the way down again. And we're going to say interactions button dot on click dot add listener on interactions clicked. All right. So we're going to change, I guess, how geez, I gotta think about how we want to do this. I think we're going to need to sort of refine how our various tabs or submenus are opened up. It might be good to have something similar to the custom room audio menu, where it's basically a submenu. Instead of having all of these fields be displayed in the root custom room view menu, it might be better for them to be moved to a submenu of some kind. I guess, let me see where this is all used. Refresh info, on name edit, and it's hard to say, honestly, but I guess we probably should keep them in here for now. We can just enable and disable object roots. That probably wouldn't be a terrible thing. Well, let's let that compile. I'm going to let that compile, and then I'm going to assign the references that I'm expecting, and then I'm going to just apply these changes and see what it looks like when we're interacting with it. Because I'm not sure what the best way to handle this will be. So let's go to audio. Well, hold on. Background background container, no, room audio, here we are. We can turn that on, versus room info, which has its own root. Room audio has volume sliders, loops, yeah, that's a lot of stuff I'd prefer to just keep out of the... Okay, yeah, then we'll do the submenu approach. I think that'll help keep things clean. It'd be way too messy otherwise. Okay, so let's go ahead and assign our interactions button. Let's collapse this down. And let's go to custom room audio menu. Let's create C# script, custom room info menu. And we'll want a custom room interactions menu and a custom rooms logic menu. The logic one will just keep empty for now, but let's see. I am going to create also custom room submenu. Yeah, that's probably fine. Actually, do I need submenus for anything? You know what? It's fine. Actually, yeah, we're just gonna have a custom room submenu class because it's gonna have some room specific information in it. I was debating whether or not I should have a like base class for all submenus, but it's okay. They're a rare enough instance that I'm not too worried about it. Let's see, we're gonna create custom room interactions, interaction menu. If I could spell menu, which apparently I can't. And that menu will be the one that lists all of our interactions in the room. So a door, a chair, a bed, whatever you're going to put in the room, basically. And then our last one is going to be our custom room logic menu, assuming Unity ever compiles and lets me actually do this. So create C# script, custom room logic menu. And the logic menu is essentially going to behave like the custom game map view. You'll have nodes with arrows pointing to one another, and it'll basically be a very, very rudimentary form of node-based logic. I do not know how complex I'm going to get with that. I would like to be as complex as needed, but I'm also not looking forward to having to do that. So let's go ahead and open these up, and we'll start editing. Before we start on any of the actual menus, we should probably start here. So let's look at what custom room audio menu. There. So we have an on close, which we don't actually need this on close anymore, because we're not going to have close and open or cancel and close buttons in our submenus. They're just going to sort of swap out the contents that you see. So let's see. We probably want this. So we want the current room, but I think that's pretty much all we really need from anything, and we're going to make that protected. Of course, make sure that this is under text request namespace. And do we need anything else? Oh yeah, the root. So public, oops, except I can't spell public game object root, and that's going to be the object that gets toggled on or off whenever we close, or well, show or hide the menu. Let's see, is testing, cached audio, blah, blah, blah. We don't care about anything else. We do want both of these. So let's paste these in. I will probably make this protected as well. And that actually you should go above them. There we go. And save this. Come up here, make it derived from custom room submenu. Okay, get rid of you. That's all fine. And I guess we'll have a abstract show. Now we probably want a virtual show and hide. So let's go ahead and say public virtual void show room info room info And then we'll say if not is open, current room is equal to room info. Oh, come on, lowercase r. And root set active true. And public virtual void hide if is open. And we'll say root dot set active false. Okay. We're going to say public override. And am I going to do anything with current room info? I am. Okay, so we're just going to say base.show here. Oh, and then we're going to pass in info. And I guess that means I'm going to make this say just info. Ha! Alright, then we can get rid of root.setActive true. Okay, say override. Oops. Override. Void hide. Then we can call base.hide. Just do that. And I really don't think we need the onClose functions, but again, we'll keep them in there for now while we're still getting rid of everything. We don't need the root. And do we need anything else? Not really. I might need the room label so that it's always visible what room you're in, but aside from that, well, no, that won't. That's a little unfortunate. Yeah, I guess we will want a room label, but no, we won't. We can't put it in the submenu actually because the base or the custom room info menu will have a input field, not a label for the room name. That way you can change it. So okay, I guess that's getting kept in then. Cancel button, confirm button. I think those are fine for now. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get rid of them, but we'll keep them in for now. Okay, do we need anything else? I think we're good. So, at least I'm pretty sure that we are. Reset audio. Yeah, I think we're good. All right. Let's go ahead and get rid of the extra space here. Save it out, and we'll start working on our other menus. Let's go to custom room view. So we're going to need to steal the name field, description field, exit scroll, like all of this basically. Well, except for the background image, I suppose. So we're going to get rid of that. Paste that in. Again, make sure that this is under the text quest namespace. Oh, and I guess using TM Pro. And apparently using Unity Engine.ui. Huh, I thought scroll rect was actually not part of the UI class. It makes sense, but I just didn't think that it was. Let's see, background info button. Okay. Logic button. Here we are. Change backgrounds button, new exit, and we need those. Just trying to figure out what needs to be pulled out of the old setup. Start room toggle. So these. Okay. So this needs to go here. All right. I think that's all we need from the custom room view. Obviously, we're going to have to pull a lot of logic out here. So let's see, clear exits. Let's go ahead and grab that. Paste that in. Jeez. Okay, so we're going to override. Oh, right. Hold on. I lied. Custom room, submenu, override, hide, if open. Clear exits. Okay. Start end room listeners, which is probably also going to be closed. So we're moving a lot of logic over. And it's going to give us a lot of squiggles to start, but that's fine. I don't think I need the UI show cursor anymore either. But it's nice to take this approach just because it's going to shorten our overall class size for custom room view. It's actually carving out a lot of its existing functionality to make it more compartmentalized in submenus. So let's see here. Refresh info, I think, is pretty much going to just be all in the submenus. Now I'm not going to delete the actual function itself because it's probably going to, when we refresh info, we'll refresh info on all of our submenus, I'm guessing. Okay, so that's private, correct? Yep. Let's come down here. So, okay, so we're going to have to change this. It's going to have to be current room. Place all of our room info with current room. Oh, geez. It's not ideal, but I guess we'll be fine. Okay, we don't need the background image stuff, and we don't care about the background image stuff at all. All right. I'm going to go up here. So we're going to get rid of pretty much everything except for our background sprite, or background image. So that's fine. We'll do to-do, refresh submenus. Okay. Add start end room listeners. Okay, we're going to move this over. Paste that in. Let's come down here. On name edit. Okay, so we're going to want to do yeah. Let's go ahead and move this down here. Should be good. Get rid of you here. On description edit, that will also be moved. Okay. Change background clicked on File Explorer closed. File Explorer select. Background texture loaded. All right, all that stuff's fine. On new exit clicked. That is all of this is actually going to go into our room node. Okay, all of that. Oh, geez. Man, that is super messy. Ugh, not ideal. Let's see, on start room toggled, on end room toggled, those are also moving into the submenus. Then we're gonna clean it up. So we've cut and pasted about 250 lines of code. Wah, that's a lot. Okay, get rid of some of this extra space. All right. We got some stuff up here. Ah, that needs to go in. Go ahead and cut you. Save. Go up here to override open or show. Override show. We'll say if not is open. Base.show, and then add start room listeners. Okay, we're almost done. I think we just have some change background button. Did I move that by accident? Oh, yeah, I did. Whoops. Get rid of you. All the way back up here. Let's see, button, info, room logic. Okay, there we go. I'd say that was kind of weird. All right, we're going to need an awake function in here. scroll all the way down, and then we'll eventually fix the squiggles, I promise. So we're gonna say private void on. I'm sorry, not on, just awake. Okay, let's grab this. Move these into there. Move you. Okay. I think that's all we need to do there. Let's go ahead and get rid of the white space. Okay, so custom room view has now basically been stripped entirely of its basic room info, and now we're going to move all of that. Well, it's been moved into our custom room info menu, and we need to actually correct a lot of the squiggles. Oh, hello, Anthony. Welcome back. How are you doing today? Let's see. So I suppose I could just do this as well for each of the submenus. So let's go ahead and go to private. Make this protected. Might as well. And move this. There we go. All right. I'm going to go to info method. I was going to say, why are you still squiggly? Okay, so this should now be current room. Just going to get rid of our squiggles one room info at a time. Room info. Still got some squiggles that we'll have to deal with, of course. Everything there. Yep. Okay. Room info. All the room info. And we got some squiggles that will be fixed once we say using. Oops. I work that. Okay, good. Sorry, I thought for a second that I pasted current room into an exit node spot. Let's see. Paste. Okay. Go ahead and save. Come back here. Doing good? Well, that's good to hear. Let's go ahead and copy you and move you over here. There we are. All right, so we're going to want to say using system.collections.generic and using sleepyowl.common. And that makes a lot of them go away. Okay, so now the last thing we probably have to deal with is the autosave calls. Yep. So how do we want to handle that? I suppose, so the main thing with autosave is that it basically just calls this, which tells our author session to do all this stuff. I'm not entirely sure if, well, it's probably fine. So I can probably, actually, is this even called anywhere now? It's not, so I can probably just move this entire function in there. I guess that makes sense. Our custom room view is now basically serving as more of a wrapper for a bunch of different stuff. Name edit. I guess we'll put this here. All right. Paste all of this in. Okay. Got rid of all of the squiggles. Hooray! And now we actually have to set up our logic to get this to work properly. I'm going to take a drink real quick. All right. Let me go to, let's see, refresh, which is a public thing, actually. I know. Well, it probably should be. Okay. So I'm going to say public, and then, do I want to override? Yeah, we'll say override. I know it's not going to do anything right now, but I'll deal with that in a second. I'm going to go to our submenu, and below show and hide, we're going to have a abstract behavior. Abstract class. There we go. All right. So now that all should work. And let's go up here. We're going to have a problem because I don't have that override function in there. So we're going to say override refresh info. And in audio, it's not going to do anything right now, mostly because we don't have much of the audio functionality actually set up. I mean, it's roughly there visually, but it's not actually set up in the way that I'm going to want it to be in the end. So not going to worry about refreshing its info for now. But everything else should work, I think. So let's go ahead and come up here. We're going to go up here. So room info root, are you used anywhere? You are there, but we're not actually going to do that. And we no longer need on audio menu closed. So we can get rid of that. Okay. So for all of this, we're going to want to say here info. Oh, I guess I don't have that. Okay, so I'm going to need to set those up, aren't I? So instead of that, we're going to say custom room info menu, and we'll call this info menu. Okay. Go ahead and paste a couple of times. Then we're going to say not audio menu, but interactions menu. Then finally end up with logic menu. And for now, I'm just going to leave them as the audio menu class. I know that's not what they're going to be in the end, but I just need to call close on them, and I haven't set up the other classes yet. So we're going to go down here. All right. So we're going to say info menu dot show room info. Audio menu dot hide. No, not hide flags, just hide. Then interactions menu dot hide. And finally logic menu dot hide. Hide. There we go. So we're going to copy this, and we're just kind of going to move down the line. So you're going to actually say show, then room info, delete you, say hide, okay, paste you in, and paste you in. Oops, almost did that on the wrong one. Hide. Shoop. Hide. Okay. So basically what's going to happen is every time you click on one of the tabs, it's going to hide all the other submenus and open up the one that you clicked on. All right. I think, oh, right, this part. So we're going to say, don't need the to do in there anymore. We'll say info menu dot refresh info, audio menu dot refresh info, interactions menu dot refresh info, and I guess actually that's kind of pointless, isn't it? Yeah, because I'd be refreshing info on a bunch of things that aren't open. And refresh info on things like the custom room info menu will spawn sub-objects, but that's kind of pointless if you're not actually looking at it. So, I guess we'll change this. I think I instead will have to track which one is open. So, let's see here. What do I want to do? Okay, so we're going to say private custom room submenu, active submenu, get, let's see, if, well, we'll return info menu by default, and otherwise we'll say if audio menu dot is open, return audio menu, else if not audio menu, interactions menu, not button, menu. Dot is open. Is open. Return interactions menu, and finally else if not interactions but logic menu dot is open. Return logic menu. All right. So we're going to come down here to our refresh, which is actually up, isn't it? It's right here. So we'll say active submenu dot refresh info. There we go. And I think that should be good. Oh, crap. Right. Right. Well, that's a little annoying. All right, so we're going to say refresh info, and then we'll pass room info. Room info. Because it's possible that it hasn't set the room info on the sub menus yet, so I can't actually tell them to refresh unless I pass that information along with it. So I'm going to need this and this. Room info. Okay. So we're going to come down here and we're just going to say override refresh info. And then we'll say this current room is equal to room info, with the lowercase r, of course. Then we'll say refresh info, open, close. Simple as that. So let's go ahead and, I guess, actually, you know what? Maybe I can just make that a virtual function. Feels like that might actually be a better call. So let's change this to virtual, grab this, save here, and we're just gonna do that. I think that's a simple enough thing to do. All right, so we should be good to actually set up our UI now. Don't need you anymore. All right. So let's do this and let's see all of our inspector just fall away on our custom game map. Just 90% of that's going to disappear. Well, maybe not 90%, more like 50-ish. Either way, it's about to get dramatically shorter. That is not as dramatically shorter as I was expecting. I guess that makes sense, considering the fact that I added fields for submenus. So, but it's a little shorter. All right. So now we need to add custom room info menu and set up all of this fun stuff. So we say root, then let's see, room name input field, description area, room description input field. Okay. Special indicators probably should be set up. So end room toggle and start room toggle, which I will rename this to end room toggle. All right. Again, end room. Okay, so that's those toggles. What else do we need here? Room info. Exit prefab, which is, uh-oh. Okay. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I lied. We are going to need the background button stuff in the room info subclass. I don't know why I didn't think I needed that. I think it's because I have to do a weird half refresh, so I need to actually use the image information from the setting that would be set there. But it's going to be shared across all of our submenus, so it needs to affect our root menu instead. Okay. Ugh. It's a little awkward. Let's see. So we're going to need to come back here. We're going to have to grab that. So room logic button, interactions button. background. No, that's the background image. Close button, delete button. Here we are. Change background button. Grab you. Description field, and we'll just put it here, I guess. Okay, so get rid of that extra white space. We're going to scroll all the way down here. On change background, clicked. Let's go to definition. Okay, so we're moving even more functionality over. And I'm guessing I don't need this. Nope, I do. Okay. So let's grab all this fun stuff. Change background clicked. So we're going to need to grab you. And that's all going to go near the bottom here. On exit edit, on exit delete, start room, end room, toggled. There we go. So again, current room. Current room. Okay. Let's see. This is going to be a little frustrating. So this is gonna be weird because I'm gonna be referencing something that's not below this menu, but it is something that I know will always be part of the same prefab as this menu. So that's kind of a weird way to do it, but all right. So I'm going to need this background image here. Go all the way up, and I guess we'll put it here. Okay. Now do I have any? Oh right, I need to move this too. Grab you. Scroll all the way down, and we'll paste you here. Okay. I think that's not a bad spot. So I still want to refresh info here, and it looks like that will be fine. I don't think I'm going to do anything crazy there. So, okay, let's save this and see if we can get this to work this time. Whew. So it's going to get a little shorter by one field. I think, right? One field. As soon as it compiles, we'll know, I guess. Okay. So let's go ahead, go back to room info, background image. Okay, and background image. It's just weird having a field reference to something that's not below the script that's controlling it or looking at it. I'm not used to doing things that way. So, what else do we need? Let's see. We don't need our room descriptions anymore. Oh no, I lied. We do need the. Wait. Hold on. There it is. I was gonna say, where's my change background button field? And it was just so long that it got obscured. Okay. So now we can go to room connections, exit scroll area, which is probably going to be that, and then our exits grid, which is that. Need our new button, which is actually just that. So add exit button. And finally, we need our exit prefab, which is going to be room exit node right there. Okay, so that's all set up, which is good. Room info. Are you stretching the entire way? Apparently you are. But I don't know why, though. Not a big fan of that. I would actually kind of prefer. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that instead. So we'll say from the top 5. Same with you. Okay, now the reason I'm doing that is, right. So these need to actually move out from under that. So we're going to say, this is going to be our buttons, which I guess would literally just be this. Component values. And you know what? I don't know why I don't just do this. Continue. Let's paste component values. Okay, we're good. Delete that. And now our subrooms, I guess, or some subrooms, submenus. We're just gonna open this up. Say submenus. Okay. 0 out position Y. Have it stretch, and we should be good. I think. Yes, maybe so. I'm pretty sure. So let's go ahead and move these both below submenus, and submenus will now be 90 from the bottom, like that. Except, I'm not entirely sure if I need... Zero these guys out. And we'll just do 5 by 5. Maybe I can make this 80. There we go. Just make it a little bit closer. Well, actually, you know what? No, 90 is correct. I think my buttons, I actually need to have a position of 5. There we go. Just make it a little bit farther away from the bottom edge. Okay, so that should work. And if I were to disable my room, that looks good. If I were to turn on my audio, not bad. Although we don't need the small buttons down here anymore, do we? So let's disable them for now, and then set our options to be 0 from the bottom. That looks a little bit better, maybe 5, 10, 25. That looks a little bit better. Just enough of a buffer. Okay, so I think that's good. Let's go ahead and turn off our root and turn on our, well, actually, you know what, we'll turn that off too. All right, so we got 2 of our menus set up. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the skeleton scripting for our logic, and then we'll finish up with our, well, not finish up, we'll move on to our interactions menu. So, we're going to go down to custom room logic menu, and this is just so that I can properly set them up. Text quest for use later. So, custom room submenu. All right. Then we're going to say, let's see, override, refresh info. Oh, no, not that. Override, refresh info. There we go. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. Okay, we're going to say using, there's not much else I can really do here. So, not really going to do much. That's all I needed to do for that. So now we can go back to room info menu, I'm sorry, custom room view, and make this a custom room logic menu. And it will still work. Okay. Let's go ahead and let that compile. And then finally open up our custom room interactions menu. Let's see. So we're going to derive, oops, not derive, but be in the text quest namespace. We're going to say it is a custom room submenu. Dang it, you know what I also forgot to do? That. I keep meaning to do that. I gotta get better at putting on display what I'm doing. Okay, so we want to say override, refresh info. I really hate that it automatically adds system. Bugs me. So I'm going to say, so this is our interaction menu. So we're going to say using Unity engine.ui, because we're going to need scroll recs, using TM Pro, because we're going to have text mesh pro stuff, and using sleepyowl.common, because we're going to be using my scripts. So, okay. Let's go ahead and let that compile real quick. We'll assign it, and then we'll reassign all of our submenu stuff, and then we should be good to go for the most part to actually get interactions listed or visually represented, and then eventually set up. Maybe today. That's going to be I can't understate how long it will probably. Well, not long. That makes it sound tedious. The complexity of setting up interactions. I'm willing to bet it's not going to be a super easy process. So we're going to stretch this out. We're going to call this room interactions. Oh, that was super weird. Got like halfway between game object in there. All right, let's go ahead and add one more submenu. That has its own submenu. That's a root. Let's call this root. Okay. This one is going to be called room logic. Have that stretch, and then we're not really going to have the room logic do much. We're just going to set up the skeleton for it. Custom room logic menu, give it a root, and then that's it. Okay. We do need a root for you, though. Call you root. And we're going to call you custom room interactions menu. All right, so now we can actually add all of our references as expected. So room info, room interactions. Oh, okay. Oh, right, I haven't changed that yet. Duh. So we're going to come up here to custom room view, custom room interaction menu. Okay. Gotta wait for Unity to compile. Aha! Now we can actually place everything in there. So interactions and room logic. Sweet. So now that's done. Let's go ahead and get rid of the ones that we don't care about. And let's take a look at. Actually, you know what? Let's just see if that even works to start. So let's keep everything up there. Keep you off, and then we will say turn off our root here and hit apply. All right. And before we do anything else, I am going to come up here and on open, I'm going to go ahead and say info menu dot show room info. All right, so that should work. Basically, whenever you open the custom room menu, I would like it to default to the basic info. Come on, I believe you. All right, so let's go ahead and hit apply. Turn off our UI here, and then we'll play. So we should be able to, in theory, cycle through all of the menus. Two of them won't have anything, obviously, but we should be able to actually move through them as we see fit. So we're going to do start. Extras, I'm a little worried. Frack, right, I remember. Forgot to set this back. Session. Gotta fix something real quick. And let's see, so we're gonna set, oh, I lied, that's up here, isn't it? No, it should be down here then. Here we are. Okay, write encrypted file and then read encrypted file. Okay, so that should fix that problem. Oh, right, I forgot. It takes an eternity for it to stop playing. All right, and while we're here, actually, I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, Unity, text quest, build, text quest, saves. Just going to go ahead and get rid of our auto saves. Because I'm pretty sure that they would all be for scenes that are not set up properly for the main menu. All right, I'm gonna click through, I'm gonna do start, extras, author mode, create, Zork. Okay. Let's go to map. And let's go to room 2. Okay, everything seems to look pretty decent there. If we go to audio, info, interactions, logic. Cool. So that's all working. So I would prefer that there's consistency there, but there does not seem to be such. Kind of weird. All right, so we have everything working. Let me go ahead and just take 2. I want to make sure that it saves. So we'll go ahead and say close. Let's go to start room. Close and start. Okay, good. Making sure that it saved, and it does. Audio, can't really do much. So the next thing we'll want to do is interactions. Now, the way this is probably going to be set up. Actually, you know what? It's probably fine. Sorry, I was just thinking if I should expand on the background image support, like give it its own tab or something. But not really too sure about that. Mostly it's because I'm not sure if I should allow you to tweak the opacity of this background. I feel like that's something that would be nice. But, all right, we're not gonna worry about that. So interactions. I guess I should stop playing. But I'm thinking we're gonna have. Let's see. A list of objects on the left, and then maybe when you click on that, you'll get information on the right. Because we're going to need, so this interactions menu is not going to be the menu that lets you set up the individual sort of outputs for the interactions. That's going to require its own whole separate menu. In reality, I would prefer that people just import from CSVs, well, not CSVs, JSON files, but I can understand why people wouldn't want to do that, and it's probably best if I at least let them keep that stuff in game. I always hate it when you have to go through outside means to actually get custom content in the game. It'd be much better if you could do it all in game. So let's go ahead and open up our custom game map room. Turn this on, and then let's go to our submenus interactions. All right. So for this, we're going to want a couple of things. So let's go to first UI, image. Let's go ahead and, well, before we even do that, let's subdivide this. So we're going to stretch this, and the left side is going to be called interactions list, I guess. So we'll move that up, and we'll duplicate this, and we'll call it interaction info, which will largely be like a preview window for the base for the information regarding that specific interaction that you currently have selected. So we're going to single out its positioning, make sure that it only goes from the center to the right, and likewise from the left to the center for interactions list, and then we can actually get this to work. So let's have that scale, have a solid background. It's not going to be filled in the center. All right. So go ahead and do 25 from the left, 25 from the right, or I guess not. So let's do 30. Oh, no, sorry, 20. Okay, and 15. No, 10. All right then. And from the top, 100. That might be a bit much. Also, I did that incorrectly. The top here actually should be 10, I'm going to say. And then the image here should be 50 from the top. There we go. So now we're going to have a TextMesh Pro label. Be on the top here. Oh dear. Ah, right. I know. I think I know how to fix this actually. Come here. And do we have shaders, shaders? Nope. Okay, so I'm gonna look for tmpro underscore properties. Tmpro underscore properties. All right. So I'm gonna grab that, and then I'm just going to say re-import, I believe, and that should force that to be fixed. Aha! Yeah, it's super weird. I don't know why it does that. I think it's a pathing thing, but yeah, whenever you see that in TextMesh Pro, if you're working with TextMesh Pro, just refresh tmpro properties, and then it's just magically good. No idea why. I'm gonna call this label. Make sure that we're using our 8-bit font, and we will have this be anchored to the top and stretching. Let's see. Pivot of 1y, 0. Let's have it be centered and centered. We'll have this be called interactions. That's probably fine. Actually, should I have it? It's not bad. All right. So this is going to be our border. Which itself is going to contain our scroll rect. So I'm going to say scroll view. Okay. So this is going to be stretched first off, and let's see. It's actually going to be 4, 4, 4, and 4 from each side. Viewport. We don't need a scroll bar horizontal, so it's not going to support horizontal. It's going to be clamped. We're going to have a scroll sensitivity of 10, and I suppose that we'll have to have that spacing, won't we? I really don't like the way that it auto hides and expands viewports, because the way it doesn't just enable the scroll bar, it also controls the freaking size of the rect transform that's your viewport. So I understand that that's probably done in an effort to prevent people from accidentally having the scroll bar over their UI, but it also means that I can't control anything because the freaking viewport is automatically controlled. And I just don't like that. It drives me nuts. So I have to live with this for now. I'm not going to worry about it too much. We're going to come down here, content. We're going to do a couple of things here. So we're going to do a layout, a vertical layout group, then a layout content size fitter is going to fit the preferred size for our children, which it will also control their width and height, and we'll give it a spacing of 5's probably enough. All right, so let's start adding what interactions will look like. Hello, Aphex. I'm assuming I one day I will get that name right. I'm pronouncing it Aphex for now, though, because that's kind of what it looks like to me. How's it going? I'm doing fairly well, although we'll see how this Devstream goes. How are you today? Oh, and welcome back. So let's go ahead and do I want to just list the name? Probably. So I'm going to add a child object. We will add a layout element. We'll give it a min height of 50, which should force, the height up to 50 there. So we'll call this interaction node label, I guess. We'll give it a sub object UI TextMesh Pro text. Again, make sure it's our font. Set to stretch, and we'll center it. Actually, we'll center it to the left, but we'll have it vertically centered. Fine, just a lot of Unity stuff to do. Well, I get that. I tend to run into that a lot myself. What are you currently doing? So we're going to call this label. We'll just say interaction. That's probably fine. All right. We're also going to, on our scroll view, we're going to get rid of our image here. So remove that. Our viewport is, I think, fine. don't think we need to do anything there. Content, that's all. That should all be fine. Oh, you know what? I lied. This actually should probably be a button, shouldn't it? Um, okay. So in that regard, I'm going to add an image. So we're going to say UI image. We'll also go ahead and say UI button, 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 button. And we're going to go ahead and move our layout element down to the very bottom. All right. Make it no navigation. Give it a sprite that is our background. I'm sorry, our solid. Stretched out. Normal color is going to be non-existent. It's going to be completely transparent. Highlighted color will be 50% gray, I think is fine. Press color will be dark gray. Well, semi-dark gray. And 0.2 fade duration. Everything else should be fine. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I guess I'm going to test this real quick. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so let's go ahead and set that alpha to be nothing. And that's pretty much what all of our interactions are going to look like. So we'll just have a list of them. Oh, you know what? Actually, I lied. We're going to have a list, and I think we're going to have an icon. So let's go ahead and add UI image. It's going to be off to the left. It's going to be called the icon. We'll call this name label, and then type icon. Okay, we're going to have that be anchored to the left and stretched. Have a width of 50. Set that to be correct. Name label will now be 60 from the left. Yeah, that looks fine. All right. Okay, source icon for now is probably just going to be a default. That's fine. Let's see, 50. Yeah, that's all good, I think. All right. Real-time Unity team editor with thread-safe implementation for the standard Unity classes and a lot of editor tools. Well, that's definitely a lot of stuff. So what do you mean when you say real-time Unity team editor? Are you talking about like editing of who's on the Unity project? That seems weird. I'm curious what you mean by that. But yes, you do know what my project is. At least I would hope so. Then again, I guess if people are new, they wouldn't know right off the bat. Saturdays are kind of a weird day since I don't do the base game. All right, so we're gonna need a list of interaction types, I guess, for lack of a better term. So let's go ahead and come down here. I probably should have art, shouldn't I? Yeah. Content creation, there we go. So we're going to say folder, I'm going to move some stuff, so I'm going to say file explorer, that's probably fine. Let's move all that stuff in there. Then we're going to say file create folder. This one is going to be custom, well, interaction types. Okay, so we're going to need to set up some UI for that. I don't quite know what I'm going to do because I don't have a lot of space to work with, but we'll try something. So, what type of... That's kind of interesting, actually. I'm not sure what type of interactions I should allow. I mean, the basic thing to do would basically have just is an item or is an object an item, or is it not an item? So I guess I could start with that. That would be the easiest thing to do. Oh man, I might also just need to hold off on that until I can play a couple of games that have custom map editors and see how they handle it. I'm honestly not sure how to represent an interaction. Like, that's really weird in terms of small art. I don't know what to do there. So we might just use placeholders for now. But I would like to have that type indicator there. It feels like it would be very useful. So, yes, real-time scene, asset, and script sharing for a big group of people. So one person can move an object while the other person can paint the material on it. Ha! Man, that is crazy complicated. So are you trying to like hook into Unity Collaborate for that, or are you just trying to update, like push and pull updates dynamically through Unity? Man, that would be super weird. Either way, that's going to be a really complicated thing to do. Let's see. So we want we want this button layout element. You know, I probably should actually. Oh, and actually, you know what? Oh no, it won't. Dang, that's kind of disappointing. Oh, I think that's in Unity too. There's some new functionality that Unity is talking about. I don't think it's in 2017, although I thought it was in 2017 patch 5, where you can copy fields basically, but I don't see that, so I don't think that's correct. Unless you just copy the component and paste it in. That could be true. I don't know. I think I'm actually going to need to have a custom script that derives from button. So let's go to here. So I'm going to say C# script, custom room interaction button. I think that's good. So let's go ahead and open, well, before we do that, we'll create a folder called editor. I'm going to need that. And once Unity compiles, I will actually be able to open up custom room, or well, to create a class for our editor, because we're going to need a custom editor for this button. Let's go ahead and open that up in Visual Studio first. Okay, so we're going to create C# script, custom room interaction button editor. These class names are getting stupidly long. I really do need to just compress them down to CR underscore. Okay. No, almost ready. I've written a serializer for Unity classes. All is dynamic. And there is a library which updates itself. Huh. Well, that's pretty cool, though. I honestly would not have thought to try something like that. I could see where it could be useful. But wouldn't that get messy when you're committing to your version control? I would worry that it would basically have flagged everyone as having changes in the scene. Huh. Well, either way, that sounds super cool. So, let's see, we're going to go here. Go to text quest. Say using Unity engine.ui. Using TM Pro. Okay, so this is going to derive from button. And we are going to have public text mesh pro UGUI. We'll just call it label. Then public image type icon, I guess. Or no, we'll just call it icon. And from there, we're just going to want to have, oh, you know what? We're probably going to need some serialized classes. Okay. It's never as simple as just creating something. Of course not. So we're going to need to have a couple of data classes that are just going to contain things like the image that you've used. Well, no. It's not going to be the image. It's going to be the type and then the interaction name. And then we don't really care about anything else for the button itself. Except that's not entirely true. It's probably going to need a unique identifier. And it's going to be nightmare. It's going to be so bad. So many things have to happen. Okay. So I'm going to need... Oh, geez. This is going to spiral out really quickly. So to start off, we are going to need to have custom interaction IDs. So similar to how we have room IDs, which are a name, the string value, and then an integer hash. we're going to have that for our interactions as well. And every interactable object will need to have a unique ID. That way we can definitely say, um, you know, you're interacting with this object in the den and not this exact same object in the bedroom. We need to make sure that they're two very different. Even if they're using the exact same settings, outputs, everything, they need to have unique IDs so that we know exactly what you're interacting with at any given time. It's important for that, uh, especially because they're going to probably all be stored in a central database of interactions, and we're just going to retrieve them from that using their IDs. So I'm pretty sure that I don't have that already. Let's see, room ID. We're going to look for room ID real quick, because if I have it, it's going to be near that. So IDs, direction, room. Nope, I don't. Okay. So we're going to need to set that up. Folder, interactions. Yep, it looks like I started to do stuff for it. Okay. I guess the question there is, I don't really need that anymore, do I? Well, alright. We'll deal with that in a second when we actually get there. For now, I'm just going to worry about our custom button class. Okay. So, we're going to go back down here. Open up our editor. Alright, so we're going to say using Unity engine, or not, editor.ui. And that's pretty much all we care about. Then we're going to say button editor, custom. Oh, right, I'm not using the base. I always forget that. Using Unity editor. Unity editor. There we go. Custom editor, type of custom room. Okay. Make sure this is in text quest. Okay. So let's see. Unique ID is a big part of the team editor too for all assets of every user and all scene assets. Yeah, I mean, unique IDs. That's the way to do it. Because people need to be able to rename everything whenever they want. But if you just went on pure string values, then you would never be able to save anything, obviously. So we're gonna say override on enable and override on inspector GUI. And that's pretty much it. So we're going to do that, then serialized object dot update, serialized object dot apply modified properties. So we're doing some basic custom editor scripting here. So the on enable is going to be used to set our serialized parameters. So we're going to say private serialized property. What did I call it? M label. And private serialized property M icon. Did, or apparently not. There we go. So these are serialized properties, which are just basically how Unity serializes all of your values in fields. Serialized property lets you natively access that without having to do a bunch of custom scripting to get at it. And on enable, we set these references so that we can draw them in our inspector. This is actually a very simple editor. We're not doing anything really crazy here. We're basically just retrieving values, then drawing them like we would normally expect to do. So I'm going to say m underscore label is equal to serialized object dot find property, and then we need to give it the name of the property, which is just going to be label. Okay, let's copy that, paste it down. This one is going to be our icon, and we're going to say m underscore icon is equal to that, and then we'll simply down here say editor GUI layout dot property field m underscore label, and then m underscore icon. All right, so we'll let that compile. And when we replace our button script with our custom room info, or I'm sorry, custom room interaction button, we should have the same rough base inspector, except we'll have some extra fields. So we're going to go ahead and remove this component, and then we're going to add custom room interaction button. There we go. So you can see that we have all of the base functionality plus our label and icon fields. So let's go ahead and set this up again because I was silly when I did this and I didn't copy that information, but it's okay. So we're going to have middle gray with slightly darker gray for the pressed color, and everything else is fine. All right, so we're going to add some references to our type icon and then our name label. And that's pretty much all we needed for that. Yay! Nice and easy. Hello, Garrett. Welcome back. How have you been? Let's see. So that's, I believe, pretty much our entire prefab for the interactions. Well, for the interaction button itself. So I should probably rename this to interaction button. Okay. So we're going to drag some prefabs in here. Map view. We're going to go ahead and say folder rooms. Do I want to do that? Yeah, probably. So we're going to have custom game map view. Actually, yeah, we'll move that into there. Room exit node will need to go in there as well. And I think that's all we really need there. But we're going to need to put this prefab in that folder, and we can delete it. And that is pretty much all we need to do for the actual interactions list. Although we do have to set up a data class. Right. All right. So we're going to say... Jeez. Yeah, no getting around it. We're going to need a data class for this. So C#. We're going to call this... I'm just going to start doing the CR underscore thing. It'll shorten our names a lot. So CR for custom room, and then interaction info. Okay. Been well, just chugging away. Have you made any progress on your game, or are you still tinkering around with a couple of ideas? CR interaction info. Reload. This is going to be a serialized class. We don't need the editor open, and we don't need custom logic menu open, or info, or submenu, or audio menu. Okay, there we go. So this is going to be nothing. It doesn't even need to be serializable, actually. So let's see. It does need to be in the text quest namespace, though. Text quest. This is going to be interesting. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. This is going to be so bad. No, actually, this one's going to be short. This one's fine. So I was a little worried that I was going to have to cram everything relating to interactions into this, but I don't. I only need to have the name and type of interaction. And the ID. We don't care about anything else, though. So this is going to be kind of weird, but we're going to say public int ID is the unique ID. So we'll say is equal to 0. Public string name is equal to nothing, and then public. I think we need an enum for type. So, do I really not have... I guess I wouldn't have it here. Right. Okay, so we're going to have create... No, I don't think it should go here. It should go probably up here. Let's see, rooms, room info... Okay, so actually I probably should move this stuff up to here. Oh, wait, hold on. There we are. Okay. I'm going to need one for interactions, I believe. One day it will compile. The Tapper clone, Frappe, is waiting for the final art from Starlight on my big game, starting to put together all the prototypes into a game for the first test to put in front of people. Okay. So it sounds like you're making progress. Let's go ahead and say create folder interactions. Okay, say create. Custom. Jeez. CG interaction type. Yeah, okay, I'm good with CG. Custom game interaction type. I think that's fine. Is there anything big mechanically that you're hoping to get in for your initial preview for people? For your game specifically. Let's see. So this is going to be an enum, so we're going to have it derived from byte. Enum. Make sure that this is in the text quest namespace. Get rid of all the extra space. So interaction types are, I guess, going to be basic, which is going to be equal to 0. Then item is equal to 5. But beyond that, I honestly don't know what to do. Because you have things like doors, and it's basically the same problem that I had with the base text quest game. I'm not sure how much to expose, because in theory I could expose all of it. I think it would just be weird. So for now, I'm just going to focus on basic and items. I'm not going to worry about things like doors, but I know that I'm going to have to do that eventually. So, okay, let's let that compile. Go back to CR interaction info, and then we're going to have public CG underscore interaction type, and I guess we'll just say type is equal to basic. Okay. So this class is purely going to be used for data. We're not going to use it for anything else. And it's going to be fairly sparse. It's only going to have the name of the interaction, the ID associated with that interaction, and then the type of interaction, because the name and type are needed for its label and its icon, and then the ID is needed for its individual, how do I want to phrase this? Basically, when you click on it to show information about that interaction, we need to use this ID to figure out what interaction you're talking about. So I guess that means that well, that's all fine for now. Let's go back to custom room interaction button. All right, so we're going to say public void refresh. We'll say set info. CR interaction info. Hello, Scorpio. Welcome back. How are you doing today? All right, so for set info, we're going to go ahead and private int ID is equal to 0. Do I really care to do that? Well, you know what? Why not? So instead of the int ID, we're going to can't type. I can't talk. Okay, private CR interaction info, interaction info, I guess is what I'll call it. So we're going to say interaction info is equal to info, and then label.text is equal to info.name, and icon dot sprite is equal to frac. Okay, so we have to do some quick custom editor stuff. So I need to come up with a list of a data class that has information on interaction types and their icons. So once this compiles, we'll go back here. So this is still under data, which is good. We'll go ahead and say folder editor. We're going to create C# script CG interaction icon. guess. I guess that's uh, interaction type icon. We'll do that. And then, well, before we create a script, I guess we'll let this compile. I have a few mini games to show off: fishing, blacksmithing, and a safe cracking game. Okay. Do you have like a demo level thrown together, or are you kind of just letting people roam around to see what they do? Okay, come on. Shazam. Compile. Abracadabra. There we go. That one did it. Okay, so we're going to say create, C# script, CG underscore interaction type icon drawer. Open that up. Reload them all. Do I care about? Yeah, I still gotta keep that open. I'm still doing stuff with it. Interaction type icon is also going to be a serialized class. Oh, not serialized field. Right, system.serializable. That's what it was. So that's going to be a public CG underscore interaction type. Make sure this is in the text quest namespace. So I'm going to say type and then public sprite icon. I guess we'll have this be basic by default. All right, simple as that. Don't think we need anything else. Anything else there. I don't know why I've been so tongue-tied in the past couple of weeks. Like every time I start to talk, it's just like blah, blah, blah. No idea why, but it's very infuriating to me. Yeah, I'm building a tutorial island right now, getting all the different systems working together, lots of bug fixes. Can you guys not select your settings? I thought. Oh. I thought that you guys could downsample the stream. Let's see. Let me see if I can actually do that real quick. I think that's under settings. I've not done this live before, so excuse me, everyone. I need to apparently enable streaming adjustments if possible, because I think that since I'm a Twitch affiliate now, so I think I can do that. Saturdays it doesn't? That's super awkward. Huh. Well, currently I'm getting the pinwheel on the settings page, so I'm guessing Twitch doesn't want me to do anything right now. I'll keep an eye on that, and when it pops back up, I'll try to adjust it. I've spent too much time over the last year working on stuff like async loading and UI framework, but none of that will be really noticeable. Huh. Yeah, it's weird. I'm looking at the video right now, and I see that I can only do that too. I can only do my quality is either auto or 1080p. Weird. Huh. I wonder if they have like stream surging or something on Saturdays, so maybe they can't handle that. That'd be so weird though. Why would they do it that way? Yeah, I'm still just getting the pinwheel on the settings page, so it clearly does not want me to adjust these things live. I guess that's super weird. Yeah, sorry. It seems like again, I'll keep an eye on that page to see if it actually finishes loading, but for some reason my settings page won't actually load. It just gives me the spinning pinwheel the entire time. All right, so we're gonna go to the icon drawer. There we go. All right, so that's not gonna be a mono behavior. We're gonna say using Unity Editor. It's gonna be a property drawer, and then make sure that it's in the text quest namespace, custom property drawer, type of CG underscore interaction type icon. So that's weird. So on So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or I guess weekday streams, you can adjust it, but then on Saturday and maybe Sunday, we can't? That's so weird. I wonder why Twitch does that. Like there has to be a reason, and the only thing I can think of is that they have way heavier traffic, I would think. But I don't know why they would eliminate people from having that choice. Unless maybe as a Twitch affiliate I don't get that option. It's like no. You can only stream high quality streams on the weekends. That'd be so weird. Okay. Hold on. I might be able to do it this way. Okay, this is super weird. My settings. Oh, you know what? I bet they freaking moved things around. Yeah, it keeps glitching out on my settings page. I'm not entirely sure why. It could be that something to do with my browser setup, because I know that in order to get my chat window visible in my video, I have to turn off GPU acceleration. But I wouldn't think that would actually do much, but who knows. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I guess I'm going to have to just ask you to bear with it for now. I'll see if I can mess with it after the stream. Um, all right, so property drawer stuff. So we're going to go ahead and say override on GUI. All right. So let's see. We're going to want to say position dot width is times equals 0.5 f. Then editor GUI dot property field property dot find property relative. Let's see, what was it called? Okay, fine. Definition. Type an icon. All right. Type. Oh, right. I need to say position, comma, and then after that we're going to say GUI content dot none. Okay. Copy this. Paste that in there. We're going to say position.x plus equals position.width, and then icon. Okay, simple as that. Let that go. Oh, crud. Actually, did I not? No, I did. Let's see. We're going to go to... Where's my button? There it is. So we're going to have a list here. Or, you can probably make it an array. Public CG interaction type icon. Icons is equal to new type icon of 0. And we'll see what that looks like real quick. Make sure that it's correct. So we should see, oh, crud. Dang it. It's not going to be correct because I need to actually add a field for that in my editor. Boo. And I'm also going to move these two fields up above the rest of the menu. Makes it a lot easier to deal with. Where are you? Here we are. All right, so we're going to go ahead and copy that. Just call it icons. I did just call it icons. And icons. Icons. Paste that. We're going to grab this stuff, move it up. Get rid of this. Then we're also going to do editor GUI layout dot space. And then finally, icons true. Okay. So now we should see all that pop up. So we should see this get shifted down and our other fields be moved up. They added a new game mode on Fortnite. Take 4 hours? Jeez. That's worse than Dota. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do this. And yep, that's what I wanted. So basic and item. Let's see. Not entirely sure what I want to use. I think for now, we're going to skimp and we're just going to use the file explorer icons. And then we'll be fine with it for now. So let's go ahead and say directory icon for item, and I guess file icon for basic. That's fine. And after that, we're going to go ahead and... Oh, I lied. Dang it. I made a mental note and I completely spaced on it. I actually probably should have these be under my custom game sessions instead. Just because I think there are a couple of times where it might be useful to have them be retrievable from here, so it's probably the best thing to do. So let's go ahead and go to custom game session up here. So we're essentially going to do the same thing, just we're not going to have it be under here. So we'll delete this, delete this, delete this. And let's see, refresh info, here we are. So we're going to move this into custom game session. Save file path, so all this fun stuff. Is there a reason that I have that as public? Probably because it needs to be retrievable, isn't it? I'm going to move that up to the very top, though. Okay, so we're going to say interaction type. Yeah, interaction type icons. That's not exactly a great name. I'm also going to add a tooltip for this just so I don't forget what it is, because that's a really awkward name and I'm not sure how to phrase it better. So I'm going to say icons used for icons representing various interaction types. Well, how about interactive object types? There we go. Okay, that'll be a little bit better. My friend started at 10 and we finished at 2. Jeez, that is 4 hours is a really long time for a game to run. Like, I do not know if I could do that. Actually, that's a lie. I know that I've done stuff like that before. I've played Europa. Well, I played Risk, and there was a weird version of Risk called Risk Europe, and that game was supposed to run for I think 30 minutes to an hour, and the way I played it ended up going 4 hours because I kept flipping the board, basically. Like, not actually flipping the board, but metaphorically, I kept changing sides so that it just kept going. I really don't like board games like that. For some reason, it brings out a darkness in me, and it makes me a bit of a dick. I always feel bad whenever I do that. But I honestly don't know what else to do because I don't like this type of games normally. Okay, so we're going to go up here. Have to add that here as well. It's a little annoying that I'm going to have to do it, sort of keep track of this multiple different spots. But we'll be fine. Directory icon and file icon. Okay, so let's save that. Go back here. And get rid of this. So now we're going to need to go to custom game session, and we're going to need a way to retrieve that sprite. So let's see here. Starting rooms, get variable. Okay, so we're going to say public. Well, no, actually that doesn't make sense here. So ironically enough, custom game session does not need this, but regular game session, well, author game session needs it. Oh, actually, you know what? I lied. This is not needed in custom game session. It's actually needed only in author session because it's a visual distinction for people developing the games. Therefore, it's not needed in the root session. So we're going to say custom game author session. Okay. So now we can go ahead and paste that here. Should be okay. And now we can add a function for this. Get node color, get connection group information, get warnings. Let's go ahead and do public sprite get interaction type sprite. Well, get interaction type icon, I guess. And then cg underscore interaction type. Have I seen gameplay for Sea of Thieves? I saw the initial trailer for it, like when they originally announced it. I want to say at last year's E3 or sometime last year, I thought, but I haven't seen anything on it since then. Does it look good? All right, so we're going to say for int I is equal to 0. If I could type 0, I is less than, what do I want to call it? What was it? Interaction type, interaction type icons dot length I plus plus. We'll return null at the very end. And then we're going to say if interaction type icons of I dot type is equal to type, return interaction type icons of I dot icon. Okay, simple as that. Let's go ahead and go back to here. So we're going to have to cache that too, aren't we? Yep. All right. We're going to say private custom game author session cached author. Private custom game author session cached author. Get return cached author question mark cached author. Else cached author is equal to global dot get author session. Okay, so we're just going to say icon dot sprite is equal to cached author dot get interaction type icon, and wow, I already borked that up. I need to know what type of interaction it is. Oh no, okay, I already got that. Aha, never mind. Info.type. Okay. So now we should be able to see the various icon types. What's really funny is that we're setting all of this up ahead of time, despite the fact that we don't have any way to actually set up interactions yet. Ooh. So we're going to have to do that next, I think. It looks great. I pre-ordered it the other... Who's working on Sea of Thieves? I feel like it was someone with a decent pedigree. It's not Double Fine, is it? I didn't think it was. But I remember people talking about it like it was Monkey Island. I might be thinking of something else. I remember Sea of Thieves, but I can't remember anything else about it besides the name. All right, so let's go ahead and collapse that. All this stuff is fine. Let's go back to the interaction button. Yeah, we're good there. Okay, so we have something that's populating, although we don't actually have it set up to populate yet. I guess I could add a field for it, but I can't really do much besides that. So we're going to say public scroll rect. What do I want to call it? Interactions. Scroll rect, I guess. Public rect transform. Interactions grid. Public. What was it called? It is something. I don't remember what I called it. Custom room interaction button. There we go. Custom room interaction button. Interaction button prefab. We'll just call it prefab. Okay, and go ahead and say private void clear interactions. Private void generate interactions, which we'll call clear interactions as its first line. And that's pretty much all I can do right now. I have no way of retrieving or saving interactions yet. Rareware, that's what it was. Rareware. watching it for years. It doesn't stink. Yeah, I remember seeing it and it looked interesting, but I have not seen a single thing about it since the initial like announcement. I just haven't seen anything on it. I mean, I'm hopeful that it's good, but I can't actually think of very many pirate themed things that I've enjoyed really in recent years, at the very least. Um, all right, so basic information. What could we show over here? The name. I don't really know what else I could do. Um, okay. Let's take a look real quick. So I started to set up a sort of example object to try and handle importing JSON files locally. So I think I'm going to fill this out real quick. Oh, what the heck? Why do I have extra space here? That's a little disconcerting. I don't know what that's for. That's really weird. Hold on. I kind of want to check that now. Am I really doing that here? Oh, apparently I do have that. What was I using it for? Overworld. Let's go to the cabin and look at the log real quick. I don't think I was doing anything with it. Weird. I could just have this here, I guess. So delete. And delete. Let's see. Last gameplay vid I watched made it look like PvP Gankfest. Oh, that's less interesting. And here's the... And now this video has been copyright claimed by Microsoft.
The joy of a new voyage far across the Sea of Thieves. Just you, the wide open world, and oh, well, it's not just you, she's here too. Oh,
huh. So is it more like a...
But the point is, this is a shared right for exploring and raiding with your fine pirate crew.
What's it called? Guns of Icarus type deal?
That's what we like to see.
Yeah, I don't even think I saw the gameplay trailer. I think I literally just saw the like title screen.
With adventures skulking above and below the waves. All you have to do is jump in and oh, there she goes.
Huh. Alright, I'll have to watch the rest of that later. Open world multiplayer pirates. Well, that seems like an admirable goal. Alright, so this is all probably fine to use for default information. We can't do any burn info, so let's go ahead and delete that. We don't want it to be a container, so we don't care about that. It's not a torch. It's not a climbable. Not a door, or really any of these. I wish I could multi-delete. That would really speed things up. Switch combinable. It's not a character. It's not an enemy. And it's not an item. Or a map. Or a weapon. Okay. Let's go ahead and make text default fails for everything. We'll just say this is a test. No, hold on. You can't lift a test object. Okay. I don't really care about any of this. And examine. You are examine object. Just kind of filling out random stuff. Just to make sure that we can test a couple of verbs. Okay, I think that's good. So let's go ahead and go to export sheet data, open sidebar, JSON, replace, unwrap single row sheets, export cell arrays, sheet arrays, and I think we're good. Pretty sure we might have a... Nope, we should be good. Alright, go ahead and export that. And we're going to have to set up an interface to allow importing JSON files like this. But at the same time, we also need to set up interfaces for actually setting all of this information up in game without having a CS or a JSON file that you import. Hooray! God, that's gonna be so massive. There's so much stuff that you would have to be able to do. Ugh, never end. Okay. So let's just go ahead and show unfolder there, but we're not going to do anything with it for now. Okay. So we can list all of the interactions, but now we have to actually set up a menu to set up interactions, or how you actually want to. Oh, and you know what? I guess before we do that, let's add a add interaction button down here, and then we'll probably be done with the interaction submenu for now, because we need to move on to the actual interaction setup menu. Oh, there's going to be so much information there. All right. So viewport content, that's all fine. Let's go ahead and rename this to interactions scroll view. Let's open this back up to content. I'm going to call this interactions grid. Open world multiplayer pirates all in the same boat. Well, I mean, you know, it's a well-known fact that there was only one pirate ship in the entirety of the pirate era. Everyone knows that. Blackbeard and Redbeard both had to captain the same ship. Come on. Know your history. GS has evolved special edition for $80 and they're selling it for $60. Wait, you mean the special edition normally costs $80 and they're selling it for $60? Or there's... I guess I don't know how else to interpret that. Not that it matters. Evolve, I've heard at this point, is pretty much dead. And for an all multiplayer game, that's kind of a deal breaker. Alright, so we're going to go up here, and we're going to have interactions scroll view, interactions grid, interactions prefab, and we're going to need some buttons. The interactions list. Right, so the border here is going to be from the bottom 50, I guess. We're going to go ahead and copy one of these buttons. Copy. We're going to paste that in here. It's going to be stretched at the very bottom. 1, 1, 1. Give it a position of 0, y of 0, height of 50. That's fine. Let's change our border here to 60. Yeah, that's good. Okay, we're going to rename this from close button to new interaction button. We'll have this say add interaction. All right, let's go ahead and go up here. We're going to add a add a field for our button there. So we're going to say public button add interaction button private void on add interaction clicked private void awake. The game is free now, but you can buy it for 60 or special edition for 80. Why would you buy it if it was free? Well, actually, I lied. I guess there was actually something interesting that Ubisoft did for Rainbow Six Siege, where I think you could get a free version, but everything was like super grindy, like ridiculously grindy, which I guess is fair because it's free. So it was actually interesting to see that pricing model. I actually kind of wish that more multiplayer-centric games would do that. You could have a premium buy-in if you didn't want to have as grindy of an experience. Or you could just not pay anything, but then you have to really, really grind for hours on end to get one thing. But again, you didn't pay anything, so... Alright, so we're going to say interaction, add interaction button, dot on click, dot add listener, on add interaction clicked. Okay, take care of that. And we're also going to need private void on interaction clicked. Oops. And that's going to take a int ID, I think. And then we're not going to do anything else with that. But let's see. I think that's pretty much the most we can do with that menu for now. So we're going to switch gears into actual interaction menu setup. Company made the game free because nobody played it. Yeah. Well, to be fair, I don't know how much of that is Turtle Rock's fault or how much of that is Take-Two's fault, because it was, when it came out, it was disgusting how much DLC they were basically pimping. Like, it was just like, oh, look, here's a game, but you know what's more exciting than the game? All this DLC that you can buy for $20 more. Oh, I'm sorry, $50, $60. You want to play the entire game? Well, it's going to cost you $120. Yeah, it was really, really bad. Which is kind of what's happening to Shadow of Mordor now, or Shadow of War right now. That game is really quickly turning out to be a terribly managed experience from the looks of it. I'm sure it'll still be a fun game, but man, Warner Brothers is really disgusting sometimes. Okay, let's go ahead and add our new interaction button, which is not. Oh, right, I put it up at the top. I was like, where is it? Okay. So let's turn this off. Let's go ahead and save our changes. And then we're going to need a brand new menu. Go ahead and apply those changes too, I guess. All right. So we need a menu for our custom, for our interactions. Oh boy, this is, God, how? There's so much information. There's a reason that I did this in a spreadsheet. I'm honestly not entirely sure what a good way to visually represent all of this information is. Like, it's all in spreadsheet form because that's probably the best way to handle this. Ah, gosh, it's going to be terrible. Okay. How to do this? I'm not entirely sure. Anthem looks amazing. It didn't look bad, but I don't know. I really haven't gotten into BioWare games since Mass Effect 3. I never really got into the Dragon Age series, and I guess the Knights of the Old Republic stuff was pretty good, although not the Old Republic. That looked like a boring grind fest. But I'm not sure about Anthem because I think that's supposed to be a Destiny competitor, and I don't know. I'm not really a huge fan of MMOE first-person shooters. Which is why I didn't get Tom Clancy's The Division, because when I shoot someone in the head in a Tom Clancy game, they need to die right away because they got shot in the head. And Tom Clancy games are all about military realism. But that's not what happens in The Division. Okay, so, jeez, this is just such a nightmare. I'm not entirely sure what the best way to do this will be. I guess we'll just start designing and see what happens. So freeform it. So we'll say view custom game interaction. Okay. Have a root. And God, this is going to get so complicated so very fast. Especially since I'm going to have 3 different freaking interaction menus. Okay. Yep. Okay. Let's see. We're going to need name, description, type of interaction, adjectives, plural and singular names. Jeez. So much crap. Okay. So we're essentially going to be making a spreadsheet. God, I honestly cannot think of a more efficient layout than just a spreadsheet. And I just, I'm torn. Because I honestly think that people will have a better experience if they use spreadsheets and export a JSON file. But I feel like I have to also allow people to make these things in game. Because who knows? What if one day my JSON add-on for spreadsheets doesn't function, or I don't know. What if JSON no longer exists in the future? Yeah, so it all needs to be allowed in game. Assassin's Creed Origins. No, I haven't been a fan of Assassin's Creed since the first game, actually. I know that people say that the second game was better, and it seemed to be fine, but I really didn't care much for Assassin's Creed. The only thing I found fun was countering everyone with my Assassin's Blade. But then after that, it got really boring. So yeah, I haven't really enjoyed Assassin's Creed since the first one. Feature creep, yeah. Well, and I mean that's the thing is that the custom game stuff, setting up interactions was always going to be the problem. So, okay. What if we start off not having editor support? We just have to import a JSON file, and we'll see what we feel like after that. It just sucks because even after you import it, there's no real good way to visualize that information. So it's dependent on spreadsheets, and I don't like that. But if I recreate, well, I'm not. That's the thing is, if I make an interface, it's basically going to be spreadsheets. Ah, all right. Um, for now, I'm just going to let you import a JSON file. I'm not going to worry about anything else for now. But I know that we will have to expand on that at a later date. So let's go ahead and get started on. Where are you? Here we are. So I guess we're going to have create folder interactions. Okay. Create C# script. CG interaction view. Okay. Let's go ahead and open this up. Reload. But yeah. I'm not a huge fan of feature creep, but for custom game stuff, I mean, there's not much I can do besides acquiesce and work on it. Text quest. Let's see, interaction view is going to say using Unity cpl.common. It's going to be a game view. Let that go. So, let me come up here. Show cursor on open, hide cursor on close. Good, that's set up correctly. Come on, Unity. I believe in you. There we go. CG interaction view. It is not going to hide cursor on close. I can definitely tell you that. Okay. So what are we going to need here? We're probably going to need using Unity Engine .ui and using TM Pro. All right. So we're going to say public text mesh pro UGUI, and then we're going to say. I think right now what I'm planning on showing is the object's name, its description, and its type. And I'm not going to worry about anything else for now. But that is something that's going to have to happen. Jeez. All right, so we're going to say name label, public text mesh pro UGUI. We'll call it description label or desk label. Then public. I guess it's going to be a drop down. So TM Pro. Oh, right. It's what is it? It's TMP underscore drop down. Type drop down. Then we're also going to need a button. So public button import button, and that's going to be the button that actually allows you to select a JSON file to import. Then we'll probably need a public delete, public button delete button. So this is the button that you would click to actually delete the object. And I think that's all we're gonna. Oh, I need a close button actually. So public button close button. Okay. So after that, we're gonna go ahead and say private void on import clicked. Set up our event listeners. Private void on delete clicked. Private void on. I keep saying void. Void on close clicked. Private void awake. Okay. So now we can actually set up our initial or our button listeners. So we're going to say import button dot on click dot add listener on import clicked. Delete button dot on click dot add listener on delete clicked, and then close button dot on click dot add listener on close clicked. All right, so we got our event listener set up, and now we need them to actually do stuff. But before, oh, you know what? I did forget to have my dropdown. So private void on type changed int value. So for that, we're going to need to say type dropdown dot on click. No, not on click. Dot on value changed dot add listener on type changed. Okay. So now we're going to do the visual component of this. Okay, let that compile real quick. Well, aside from, I guess, Assassin's Creed Origins, Anthem, and Sea of Thieves, temporarily forgot the name for some reason. Is there any game anyone's excited for? I also feel like someone is honking their horn. Oh, actually, I don't think it's someone honking their horn. I think someone next to my house is doing construction. Hooray. Hopefully you guys can't hear that. All right, so let's see. We're going to go ahead and... I don't think this is going to be a submenu, so we'll go ahead and have a UI image. Make it our solid. Make it black. Probably make it semi-transparent, so 200. Okay. And then from there, we're going to need to have another image. So UI. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to worry about making it look good right now. I'm just going to worry about... Well, I am going to worry about making it look good, but I'm not... Okay. Think. Yeah. All right. So we're just going to... We're just going to have the basics. It's very hard for me to just do the basics, but we're going to just do that. All right, so we're going to have a UI image. Okay, make sure that it's our solid sprite. We're going to have it stretch all the way. It'll be 100 from the left, 100, 100, and 100, I think. All right, so that's going to be our panel. Then we're going to basically duplicate that and parent it to itself. Except 5555, make it black. Okay, so this is our background. All right, so we need to set up a close, delete, and import, and what else? Name and description. Ugh. This is such a nightmare. Hello, Claril. Welcome back. What's going on today? It's Saturday, which means custom game day. So I'm working on currently setting up options to customize interactions. So basically items that you can pick up, take with you, objects that you can hit, do whatever verb you can think of and all that. And I'm having a bit of an existential breakdown because I can't decide how to do so, because there's a ton of information there. So, tabs is all I can think of. Oy. All right, so let's go ahead and yeah. Okay, we're gonna add this at the very top. Stretch all the way across. 0, 50 of height is probably fine. And this is going to be our tabs, or I guess sections. How about section tabs? Why not both? All right, so we're going to add a component layout, horizontal layout group. So it's going to be a similar tab layout to what our custom room was doing. I'm working. There's so much work to be done, and I have to do so much research on other games while I'm working on my game. And that research turns out to be, 8-hour play sessions sometimes. Actually, it's been a long time since I've had an 8-hour play session, I think. Actually, no, I think Prey last weekend I managed to get one in on Friday. But I don't apologize for Fridays. Fridays are my free days to play games. So I hadn't had a really, really long. Actually, I don't even think it was 8 hours. That would be crazy. I think it was more like 3. But whatever. It's been a long time since I've had 8 hours of straight game playing. So section tabs. Let's go ahead and set up our buttons. So we're going to say UI button. Okay. So we're going to change our sprite here to be solid. Get rid of U. Add a UI image. And then add a UI text from pro text. Have it stretch. Give it the correct font. Have this stretch. And I think we're good after that. So we're going to have you control width and height. Say label. Background. 5555. Make sure it's using our correct sprite. Alright. Affect our background. Which will be black by default. Highlight in, I guess, semi-green. Wow, it's a hideous color. This is all stuff that's going to change anyway. Although actually, if I can probably be lazy and just do this. Copy component. And paste component is new. Oh wait, no, I can't do that. But I can paste values. Okay. So let's see. Label is going to be centered and centered, I think. No video games are ever released. Well, no, the phrase that I enjoy, kind of, is games don't finish, they ship. But it's possible to release a game. It's just probably impossible to finish a game. All right, so this is going to be info, I guess is what I would call that. Although we will shrink our size down to 24. That's not too small, I don't think. No, let's rename this to info button. And we're going to duplicate that, call this verbs button 111. So I think my goal for this menu right now is to show this information and this information. Nothing else. So just the verb, the effect, and the output. Heck, probably actually just the verb and the output. I'm not even going to worry about the effect, I don't think. Okay, so let's go back here. Verbs button. We're going to rename this to verbs. And that's all I care about for now. All right. So now we need to actually set up our content. So I suppose we can do this. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. We're going to have a sub-object here that's going to be called content, I guess. Let's also set up our buttons at the very bottom here. So this will be buttons. It's going to be all that fun stuff. Height of 65, I believe, is what we wanted. I'm going to go ahead and grab my info button. We're going to duplicate you, paste you down here. We're going to set you up to be a horizontal layout. And then we'll drop you down here. And then we'll duplicate you. All right, so height controlled, that's all fine. Give it a spacing of 10, nope, 20, with padding of 10, 10, and 10. Wow, that is really close to the border, but it should be, you know what, whatever, we'll do 10. 10. Yeah, it's fine. All right, so I'm going to call this one close button. Then info button will be renamed to delete button. Single those out. Make sure that everything's correct. We're going to change our delete button to be red shifted, obviously, because we don't want to make it seem like it's okay to delete things unless you're totally sure. Go ahead and rename the labels, or repopulate them. Close. Delete. Okay. And let's go ahead and close button, delete button. So actual content. I think we're going to have sub-menus for this. So we're going to say content. This is going to be info, I guess. Have it stretch. Have content. Let's take a look at this. Have this be from the bottom 75? Nope, 90. All right, that looks good. And from the top, I'm guessing 25. Yeah, that's probably fine. And from the bottom, or from the left, 25 as well. Yeah. All right. So now we need to actually set up our fields. So we're going to say create UI. Actually, before I do that, let's go ahead and set this. So we need to show, let's see, for our basic info, we need the name for both its main name and then any subnames that it might have. The description, its color, so what it should be highlighted as, adjectives, and should it be ignored in groups, which we might not expose that one for now. So these fields are the ones that I'm concerned with for now. That's probably fine. Okay. So let's go to here. So this is going to be the left side, which will be the object name. Well, let me think. No. Names. Description. Okay, yeah, I think I know what to do here. So this will be names. So I think we can split this into 4 sections. Names, description. Okay, 3 sections. So half and half. So names, plural names, text color, and adjectives on one side. and description on the other. Maybe I might put text color on the same side as description just to free up some space. Unstable unicorns? I don't know if I've heard of that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and have names be over here. It's going to be anchored to 0.5 and I guess 0.5. Actually, no, it's probably going to be better to be like 0.4. There we go. Let's duplicate that. 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. And it's going to be 0 to 0.4, or not 0.5, sorry, 0.4. And call that adjectives. And the last thing we'll do is description. Oh, wrong thing. Sorry. Duplicate this. Pull everything out. Okay. So 0 and 0.5. Oh, dang it. To 1. All right. So let's try filling these things up. So this will be description. So we'll start with adjectives because that's going to be the basic shape for everything else pretty much. So we're going to say adjectives. Let's add a image below it. Image. Make sure it uses our solid slice sprite. It will not fill the center and it will be stretched the entire way. Except we're actually going to have a offset from the top by 35, I'm guessing is probably fine. We're going to add a UI, Text Mesh Pro, text. Put that up here. We're going to call it label. It's just going to be called adjectives. Make sure it's using our font. Have it stretch across the top. Y, position 0. And yeah, left aligned, probably center is good. Let's get our image, 40 from the top. All right, just a flat 50. Yeah, that seems to be fine. All right, and adjectives. Oh, geez, this is actually going to be a little bit more complex than I was hoping. Oh, geez. Okay. Yep. All right, this is going to be nuts. This is going to be nuts. I'm going to spell butts because I was saying nuts there. Border is what I meant to type. All right, so I think what I'm planning on doing here is I'm going to have the title, which actually needs to be shrunk. No wonder it was so large. 24. Maybe a little bit larger. 28. Yeah, it's good. So we're going to have the title, then we're going to have a scroll area with the contents that are going to just be a label, basically. Actually, they're going to be an input field. And then we are going to have a input field at the very bottom that when you type in it and hit enter or click off of it, it will add that to the list of adjectives. Okay. So let's go ahead and set that up. Let's see, border. Create UI. TextMesh Pro input field. Okay, so this is going to be at the very bottom. Make sure it's anchored and positioned properly. I think this needs to be solid. That's fine. Text area is actually going to have an image on it now. UI, image. Give it a solid. So it'll be 5, 5, 5, and 5. Make it black. All right. So our height here needs to probably be something like 50. Yep, it's looking good. Change our placeholder text to use 8-bit font, as with our regular text, to also do that. All right, placeholder is probably not going to be italicized. 14 and 14, no, I think they're going to be better at 24 probably. Change our placeholder text to say enter adjective. maybe I should have a button too. I do kind of feel like it would be better with a button. So let's go ahead and add a test case here. So I'm going to just say blue, for example. You're not set up to be. Oh, I guess that's fine. 10. Ah, dang it! Can't do that. 5. All right. So these guys have to be anchored. 5, 5, 5, and 5. I think that's good. Yeah, it's probably good. Let's see. So in less than a week, 4,000 more people backed it, and they raised $200,000. Ah, so much money. Huh. Okay then. So kind of feels like this is on the back of what was it? Exploding Kittens, and there was a bear game. Like I think it was like Babies versus Bears or something like that. Would be my guess anyway. Wow, it only took 1 hour and 11 minutes. Whew. Ah, 760,000. Wow, that is a lot of money. It's just so much money. Like just so much money. Okay. So let's see here. We're gonna want to change our text to be white, like that. And I think we are good. We're also gonna make our text area, our highlight part, make it none and 0.4. I'm sorry, 0.2. Can't talk. Normal color will be. Oh, you know what? I guess actually I should make this white. There we go. So normal color here is going to be black. Highlighted color will be like that. Pressed color will be slightly darker between the two, and then we should be good. All right. Yeah, I feel like I probably should actually have a button there. So technical for input field, we're going to call this new adjective input field. All right. Let's go ahead and I guess we'll give it an offset of 100 from the right. That seems fine. All right. So actually, I'm going to change this a little bit. We're going to zero that out. Copy you. Paste component values. We're just going to place you in here. Have it stretch the entire way, and then from the right, 100. All right. Then we're going to add a button. Button. We're going to call it add adjective button. All right. We're going to change this, get rid of you. Do our regular setup here. So actually, you know what? I'm going to be lazy and I'm just going to copy our button up here. Copy you. Paste it here. 1, 1, 1. Have it be aligned and stretched from the right. 0. Oops. 0. I need to get that to work so that it actually shows up on my stream. But thank you. Thank you, Sky. Welcome back. Just earned $2,000. Nice. That is a lot of monies. That is at least 2,000 single dollars. I'm willing to bet. All right, we're going to rename this from info button to add adjective button. All right, and then we're going to change its size, width of 100. Change our label to say add. And this is going to be interesting. Disabled color. This is actually going to be one of the few instances where I do need it to be actually something sensible. So should I make it reddish? Kind of like this? No, that... No. No, I don't really like that. Ideally, I would actually do it on the label itself, but that I can't really do it that way. So, crud. We'll do something like that to see what that looks like. All right. Was it payday, I assume? Oh, by the way, I completely, wow, super rude of me. Welcome back, Sky. How are you doing today? Besides the fact that you made 2 grand, I guess. All right, make sure that it's set to none. That means I need to set these to none as well. Navigation for mouse-driven menus is a nightmare. I really don't like having it there. It's great for controllers and consoles, but Text Quest cannot, like, it cannot be done on consoles, basically, at this point. It could have been done on the Wii U, but not anymore, now that the Switch is out. Okay, so add adjective button. I think we're good. Actually, you know what? Well, no, it's fine. Yeah, all right. So we're going to go back here. We're going to make our input field be nothing by default. We will also set it to be alphanumeric, I guess. Because I don't think you can really do much besides that. It wouldn't make sense anyway, because this is for adjectives. All right. So this is going to be new adjectives. Okay. So finally, we have to end with set of 50. There's not a lot of room here, so 55, which means that our adjectives. So this is the minimum size that we would need for a set of words to be added. Ugh. Okay. I think we might end up moving adjectives over here and then have the description be below it. So we have names, plural names, then color. And I think we'll be good after that. So let's go ahead and say, we're going to change our height here a little bit. So adjectives in total, height will be 0.5. Will that help? It's a little better. We're not actually quite done yet. So now I need to add a scroll area here. Scroll view. And we'll have it stretch, fill out. Should be good. It's not going to be horizontal, so we can get rid of it. And it's just going to be vertical, elastic. It's going to be clamped. Inertia, scroll sensitivity of 10. Yep, everything else is fine. Let's go ahead and get rid of this image, though. Move, viewport, content. Make sure that this... Oh, hold on. Why are you... Okay, I was going to say that's weird. Content is going to be layout, vertical layout group, then a layout content size fitter with a preference for preferred size, control size width and height. That all should be good. I'm going to crack my knuckles and take a drink. Hello, Kuba. Welcome to the Devstream. We are currently working on custom games. Well, custom games within our own game, which is basically a way for players to make their own custom text-based adventures. All right. So we have our layout set up. Let's do 5 spacing probably. Actually, yeah, 5 spacing is probably fine. All right. So we're going to create a new object under here. Give it a layout element, preferred height. We'll do min height of 50 to start, but that might be too big. So let's go to, we'll call this, I guess it doesn't need to be adjective. We'll call it interaction string field. I don't know what else to call this, because it's going to be used in names as well, and it might end up being used in things like description, or actually probably not description, but verbs. It'll probably be used there, so I think this is probably the best thing I can come up with. It's not a great name, I'm not going to lie. Text mesh pro text. Have this stretch the entire way. Let's see. So we'll have this one say like blue to test it. So, have it be centered vertically, aligned left. 36 size is a bit much, so 24 seems better. Yeah, that's not bad. Let's go ahead and jump over to 8-bit font. Okay. We're going to have this be a button, actually. So let's go ahead and say UI button. Then we'll need an image. So UI. I hate that UI is so far down. Image. So move down, 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 and move down, and one more move down. All right. So our target graphic is going to be this, and so we want it by default to be black with, well, actually, no, it's just going to be invisible with a highlighted color of semi-darkish gray, press color of a darker gray, 2, automatic of none. Okay, I'm going to call this label. And I probably am going to have my own custom button again. Oh, wait, no. Why did I do it this way? This was stupid of me. I actually don't need this button. I do need the... Well... Nope. I remember. Right. Jeez, this is going to be way more complicated than I wanted it to be. Okay. So... we're going to have to do this. We're going to create UI, TextMesh Pro input field. Okay. That is probably not the best, actually. Just trying to think about how to do this properly. Let's remove you. Remove you. Just delete you. All right, so I'm going to have a TextMesh Pro input field below this, and I'm also going to have a button below that. So I am once again going to just copy paste my button. So add adjective button, paste this in here. All right, should be good to go. That's nice. Today I've been doing some programming and done my advanced character movement. Works. I'm happy. I just want a little break, watching some game dev streams. Well, hopefully we can keep you entertained. We are doing a lot of UI and programming, so if that's not your field, I apologize, but hopefully it'll be somewhat interesting. What game are you working on, if you don't mind me asking? Because I always like to ask people when they come here. If they're working on games, I like to know what they're working on. And my cat is wanting attention, because she's spoiled. All right, so we're going to change this from add adjective button, to, come on, let me highlight it. This is going to be our delete button for this particular object. It is scaled, that's correct, from the top to 0 and 0. Have our delete button say delete. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to have it say negative. Okay, change our button. So by default, our background is going to be like this darkish red. Highlighted color is going to be red, like really red. Press color is going to be red. Okay, we're all good here. Good, good, good. Let's change our width here to 75. Can I get away with 50? I think I can. Good. Oh yeah, I definitely can. From the top, I might make it like 5 and 5, so it's a little bit more of a narrow scape. I kind of feel like my border is super thick there. Not really crazy about that. So I might do something like this. It's not bad. Although that does mean that I can shrink my width even further. Can we do like 40? I might do 30. Sorry, I know this is a lot of awkward changes that don't really need to be made. Because it's all visual, but it's UI, so that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to call this our input field. All right. And actually, you know what? I'm just going to copy my input field from down here and paste it in. So delete you. Move you up. Have you stretch. 111. All right. It's going to be from the top. Well, it's from the right. 50. That seems fine. All right. Let's change our button here so it's 0 from the top and 0 from the right. We'll go to width of 45. I don't like it being taller like that, so I might actually still keep you at 5 and 5. All right. So now we're going to want to change our size. Well, 50 is about the limit. Ugh. God, it's going to be cramming so much information in here. Okay. I think we are good. So we're going to rename this to input field. And we're going to need to add a custom class for this object. So let's see. We're going to want to have interactions. That's for data. We don't need that. IDs. Don't need you yet. Delete you. Come on. You can do it. There we go. Game logic. I guess I want interactions here. No, actually not. No, this should go under our view script. Let's see. Interactions. So create C# script. CG underscore. Oh, I guess it's not that. Interaction string field. Oh, I almost said interaction. Interaction string field. Ugh. I honestly can't think of a better thing to call it. Which disgusts me. But it's technically functional and descriptive. Alright. Don't need the custom editor anymore. Custom game session. Don't need custom room view either. Interaction string field. Alright, so for this we're going to need to use a couple of things. We're going to have to say using UnityEngine.ui, using TM Pro, and I think that's all we need for now. So we'll say text quest. Let's see, mono behavior, that's fine. So we're going to say public button, delete button, public tmp underscore input field. Yep, haha, input field. Okay. So then we're going to have public void set value. String value. We're just going to say input field. Oops, come on. Input field dot text is equal to value. Private void on delete clicked. Let's just keep going for now. Private void on. No, we'll just say awake for now. Awake. Okay, then private void on input field changed string value. Okay. So we're going to go through here. Oh, and actually I did that in reverse because of course I did. Okay. So one more. We're going to say delete button dot on click. Delete button dot on click dot add listener on delete clicked. Then input field dot on not on click on value changed dot add listener on input field changed. Okay. Now we need to set up a couple of events. So we're going to say public delegate void field event. So CG interaction string field public git void field, and we'll say value event. Value event string value. Oops. Delegate. Semicolon. Then public event field event on delete. Let's say delete clicked. Delete clicked is equal to delegate public event value event and value changed is equal to delegate. Okay, so we have our events, then we need to fire them. So we're going to say delete clicked. And, all right, it's got to pass this. Then, value changed value. Okay. So now we need to go to room interaction button. Nope, we're good with you. Interaction menu. Here we are. So we're going to need public CG interaction string field prefab. Yeah, sorry that it's streaming only in 1080p. That's super weird. I wish I knew why it only did that. I'll look into that and see if there's something I can do about that. Or if for some reason that Saturday is just a day when Twitch is like, nope, everyone has to watch 1080p. So, thanks for stopping by, Scorpio. Always good to talk. All right. Should I split this into submenus again? I probably should. So, oh, and also this is actually the wrong thing entirely. So, yep, we definitely need to. It's a good thing we haven't done much with that yet, because you're where I need to go. Paste that in. All right. So, God, this is going to be so messy. Let's go back up here. We'll attach our script once it compiles. Come on. Come on. One more time. There we go. Input field and the delete button. All right. God, maybe I should just get rid of this. Yeah, I don't think it really needs it. So that's probably all right then. Okay. Let's try that. I'll keep it disabled for now. I won't remove it. Okay, so everything else is good. So like before, we're gonna need to set this up. Interactions. Create interactions. Hiccups. Interaction string view. Delete this. Scroll view. This will be our adjectives. Scroll view. Adjectives grid. All right. Hey, God, I'm kind of running out of steam here. Just because 3-hour Devstream. I feel like at least I should get adjectives kind of working. It's really annoying because I can't really test this functionality without everything being in place. So, jeez, it's like half there. All right. New adjectives, border adjectives, scroll view. All right. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to have submenus. Okay, so we're going to say create C# script CG underscore interactive or interaction submenu. Yeah, that's fine. So, well, we might. I can't really. That's the problem. I'm trying to think of how we could get this all set up and then tested really quickly, but I really don't think we can. I mean, I can do some more code today, but we're not really going to get to a testable state, I don't think. So create C# script CG underscore interaction info menu. Because I don't even have really a data class for interactions. I have a interactive or interactable object class, but that's used in the base game. I need a data class to store all of that information, basically, which is not great because it's basically going to do exactly the same thing as our base interactable object class, but none of its functionality. Hey, okay. Well, let's try to at least test this functionality here for adding and deleting these adjectives. So at least let us test the menu, I guess. I don't think we're really going to get very far, but, well, we might not even test. We might just rig it up and then call it a day. Because again, this is definitely going to be a multi-step process. We're not going to do this all in one day. So interaction submenu, that can be a mono behavior. That's fine. It's going to be similar to our other submenus. So we're going to say public virtual void show, public virtual void hide. We're going to have a public game object root. Then, well, public bool is open. Get return false for now, and then we're going to say protected root. Sorry, game object root. Get return root question mark root. Oops, root. Else root is equal to game object. Lowercase g. And we're going to say root dot is active. Sorry, active self. There we go. And if not is open, root dot set active true. If is open, root dot set active false. Okay, simple as that. Let go, info menu. Oh, I also need to make sure that that is in the text quest namespace. Text quest. Let's go ahead and copy that. Paste this here. Oh, dang it. Text quest. It's going to be derived from CG interaction submenu. And, geez, I guess this is where the bulk of those fields are going to come into place. So, public, oops, you know what, before we can even do that, we're going to need a couple of things. So using Unity Engine.ui, using tmpro, using sleepyowl.common, okay. So we're going to need a public, I guess we'll have some buttons. Actually, you know what, we're going to use some headers. We don't normally do that, but I'm going to do that. So we're going to say public scroll rect names scroll rect, I guess. Public rect transform names grid. Come on. Grid. Public button add name button. Okay, so we're going to do all of this with a header. So we're going to say names, header, adjectives, public, pretty much all the same stuff, just with adjective in front of it. So adjective, scroll rect, adjective, grid, add adjective button. All right, so those are those fields. We're also going to need a drop down for the type and a input field for, oh crap, we need input fields, right. So we're going to say public input field, TMP input field, name field, I guess, yeah, add name field. Go ahead and copy that, paste this down here, add adjective field, and then we're going to have, let's see, public TMP underscore input field, or desk field. Don't really need anything beyond that, but we'll still preface it with a header that says description. And we will finally end on another header that says type, say public TMP underscore drop down type drop down. Okay, all that stuff. Let that compile, and then I'll show you what that looks like. So headers, if you've ever done any sort of editor scripting, well, not even editor scripting, headers are basically attributes that let you have little nice labels inside of your editor without any extra editor scripting. So I'm going to come down here, make a sub object because I actually need that to be the root. I will move everything below that. Okay, so if I add info menu, so these are what our headers do. They add these sort of nice little subdivides. So it spaces things out, makes it a little bit easier to isolate everything by group. It's just a nice thing to have. All right, so we're going to have a lot of stuff that needs to be added. Just a lot of stuff. Okay, so we're going to need, our adjectives are already set up, fortunately. Scroll view. Let's see, new adjectives. We have the field and the button. Okay. And did we bump that up to 0.5? We did. Okay. I think we can just, let's just duplicate adjectives, move it up. We'll call it names. So 0, 0, 0.5 to 1, 1, 1, 1. All right. Gotta head out and do the whole food thing. Yeah, thinking about doing that myself. So, well, have a good night, Clarilla. Thanks for stopping by. All right, so let's just do a couple of quick name changes, and then we'll probably call it a day. So we'll basically hook everything up, but not actually do anything. New adjectives. We'll call this new names. New name. Input field. Add name button, and oh, dang it! Of course, those were all under the adjective field because of course they were. Name button, input field, names, and there we go. No, yeah, we probably should call these. Grid, names, scroll view. All right, info. So we need names grid, name scroll view, name input field, and add name button. All right, I think we're gonna call it a day there. Well, actually, no, no. We'll finish up the full layout of this menu. So we have the description field and then the type drop down, and then we'll call it a day. So I'm just gonna duplicate this. So we'll call this. Yeah, this is gonna change. Delete you. Grab all this. Adjectives. 0, 0, 0, 0. 0, 0, 0. Okay. Border from the top, I believe we settled on, what was it, 50? Yeah, it seems correct. All right. So let's change our widths here to 0.45. Wow, not that much. 49. 0.49. 0.51. Yeah, there we go. That works a little bit better. Actually, you know what? No, we'll keep it at 0.5s across the board. We'll just have them have a little bit of extra space from the right by 10. Yeah, there we go. And then this one will have space from the left by 10. All right, so we're going to open this up. Label will now say description. Oh, you know what I did forget to do is I need to change our names. So this is going to say names. New name, input field, placeholder needs to say enter name. So we're not gonna make this a scroll view. So I'm actually going to come down here to our new adjective input field. We'll just duplicate that. Paste this here within our border. 5, 5, 5, and 5. And I think we are good after that. Well, we'll remove these. So I think we're good after that. We're going to have it also be aligned to the top. So give me a second here. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Have our placeholder say enter description. Okay. We'll call this description input field. From the top by 5. All right, almost done. Oh boy. Last one is the type dropdown. Okay, so let's go ahead and God, there's so much crap on the menu. It's honestly a little much, but I'm not entirely sure how to streamline that. So not great, not great. Not great at all, really. But let's go ahead and power through this. So, from the top, I think. Let's do 0.7. Oh, not that. Reversed. 0.75. Maybe 0.7. All right, let's go ahead and so this is going to be our type. Let's duplicate this. Call it type. And it's going to be from 0.5 to 1 and 0.7 to 1. So 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. Okay. Delete new names, delete border, type. Okay, UI, Text Mesh Pro drop down. So stretch for the rest of this. At the frag. Okay, sure, whatever. From the top, 50. Yep, that seems about right. Okay, so I think I can actually shorten this to 0.75. Maybe even 0.8. It's not terrible. 0.75 is probably good for some extra space, though. So let's see. go ahead and we'll just change our drop-down values for now. So option A, I guess that's automatically going to change. So we're going to have basic and item. We're not going to have an option C for now. And that's pretty much all I need for that. So type drop down. Let's go ahead and make sure that our values are correct here. So basic. Let's bump you up to 24 size. Maybe more like 18. Content item label. Same thing. 8-bit font. And 24, I think is good. Okay. All the stuff. We're done. We're done. That is a good place to stop for the day. I am really hungry, and I have to go shopping for food because I'm out. Okay. So we got pretty far today. We haven't actually started setting up interactions yet. I almost forgot I need to be 10 from the left. There we go. So we haven't set everything. We haven't really started testing it, but we do at least have some sort of interface, roughly, for setting up information. At least with our basic info, we still need to set up things like verbs, and good God, that's going to be a nightmare. So this is definitely going to be a challenge, I think, to try and figure out how to handle this. So we'll probably continue doing this on our Saturdays for the next couple of weeks. I get the feeling it's going to take us like a month probably before we can really get anywhere close to being finished. Maybe even longer than that, honestly. But yeah, that's a good start. So what did we do today? We got interactions. I mean, basically that's all we did was we started setting up interactions. There's a lot to it. I guess we did reorganize the custom room interface a little bit to make it a little bit more streamlined. But aside from that, yeah, we definitely. We definitely, it's not that we haven't made progress, but we're in the stages where we're doing a lot of work to get a lot of work done. So we haven't actually done much because we're getting everything ready to be tested and actually set up. So not a lot of wow factor there, but it is a necessary step to get things to a good point. So I think that's a good place to stop for the day, especially because I'm very hungry now. So as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.